United States Congresswoman and acclaimed cover model for Neanderthal Weekly, Marjorie Taylor Greene, has to be the most accurate representation of the worst stereotype of the stupid, ignorant, idiotic, slow, uneducated, hillbilly hick that has ever drugged their knuckles through the trees and the bush of a North Georgia mountain that I've ever seen. Now listen, I live in Georgia, so I know that this is just a stereotype. After Marjorie Taylor Greene, I also now know where it comes from, and it's accurate. But what's most disturbing is that somehow she's also a leader in the Republican Party. She sits in many committees that have to do with things like ethics and security of our nation. She's on TV all the time, and she is heralded in the zeitgeist as a leader, a thought leader, if you can believe that. Well, also being from Georgia, I get to see news that some other people don't see. So after yesterday's horrifying, absolutely disgusting attempted assassination of an ex-U.S. president, Marjorie Taylor Greene found herself on the local news, and to my surprise, she seemed measured. She even seemed at least as smart as your average fifth grader, and even empathetic and concerned, which is the first time I've ever seen her in that light. She called for a reduction in the temperature of our political discourse. Take a look.
Greene went on to say right now, everyone needs to put politics aside.
This isn't about campaigns and politics right now. This is really about where we are as a nation, and it's not good.
Greene says she's praying for former President Donald Trump and the other victims involved in the shooting, and she hopes that our country will come together.
Now that's amazing. And she's echoing sentiments that were said by President Biden in the Oval Office when he addressed the nation after this horrific attempted assassination of an ex-president.
I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors, we're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're our fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back. Calls on all of us to take a step back.
I find that rhetoric disingenuous, to say the least. And the main reason why is because when Joe Biden says that everyone needs to calm down, I'm wondering who's everyone? Because it just so happens the person who came out and sounded empathetic, even though she drug her knuckles all the way to the TV station to say it, and after denouncing politicization of this topic and this issue and this important time that we're in, this is what she said on Twitter.
Here's what Marjorie Taylor Greene posted. She wrote, "We are in a battle between good and evil. The Democrats are the party of pedophiles, murdering the innocent unborn, violence, and bloody, meaningless, endless wars. They want to lock up their political opponents and terrorize innocent Americans who would tell the truth about it. The Democrat Party is flat out evil, and yesterday they tried to murder President Trump."
Marjorie Neanderthal Taylor Greene just said an entire party tried to kill a presidential candidate. Unfortunately, she said that without ever knowing who the shooter was and before there was any information, because her bloodlust ran so hot that she couldn't wait to get another one of her knuckle-dragger friends that all have AR-15s in their shed to come out and fight. You don't believe me? Well, she didn't stop there.
Marjorie Taylor Greene then posts the following: "We will not back down. President Trump put his fist in the air and shouted, 'Fight.' And that is exactly what we are going to do. We are going to win this election. We're going to elect Donald Trump. And oh yes, we are going to fight!" Exclamation point. This is just the beginning.
She's gross, disgusting, anti-American, and calling for violence. Fight, she says. This is only the beginning. Is it? How do you know? It could be because the actual shooter was also a far-right, white-ring, Freudian slip, right-wing Republican, like you, Marjorie, that can't wait to start this imaginary civil war. You need to be censured, Marjorie. You need to be forced to resign after those statements in a time such as this. Because you're an idiot is not a good enough excuse to incite violence right after an attempted assassination. Now, as a side note, I'm going to put it in here, but recently I left a post on Facebook that said, I'm still waiting for the NRA to show up and talk to the family of the dead firefighter about good guys with guns, and then ask the wife for a donation before they leave. But it turns out, Marjorie Taylor Greene beat me to it.
I spoke with her shortly after the shooting. She expressed her thanks to the Secret Service members.
Thank God for good guys with guns, because they are the ones that took out the shooter who was there to kill President Trump and possibly many other people that support the Make America Great Again agenda.
She is the worst of us. She is the stain on the backside of this country. She should be wiped away politically. I will not be gaslit. You can no longer gaslight us. We're no longer watching CNN. We've all turned off the TYT as well. We will no longer engage you in your bullshit conversations and both sidesing and your stupid Facebook memes, because you're stupid, you're ignorant. Your worth is minimal politically. We don't want you here in the political arena. I'd rather you go drag your knuckles through the trees and the bush that you came from. My political philosophy allows you to do that without getting any burden from me. Your political philosophy wants to force everyone else to do the same ugliness that you do and you believe is right. We don't want it. We're no longer taking the bait. You need to be forced out of Congress, censured, taken off all of your committee assignments for that disgusting, uncouth, and anti-democratic, violent rhetoric that you posted, Marjorie. You don't deserve to be here. Marjorie Taylor Greene is poisoning the blood of the House of Representatives. I'm obviously copying the words of the other side, because if Joe Biden says that we all need to clamp down the rhetoric, then maybe all of my measured responses were for nothing. And maybe that's why 50% of this country has gone mad, because the other 50% of this country is scared to call fascist, violent, racist Neanderthals what they are and send them back, dragging their knuckles through the trees and the bush from which they came, and leave the politicking to the adults.
You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that. We all have a responsibility to do that.
Hey guys, we know we're small, But we are strong and we're growing because of you. Do you know in the last month we got over 2,000 subscribers, and I want you to help us get to 3,000 subscribers. We can do it. Press that subscribe button. It's completely free, but it means the world to us. It shows us that you like this unique take on the news. And when we get big, we promise we won't sell out and be like that other left-wing channel. Become a part of this community. I promise you, we will not let you down.